My name is Kadalmani Krishnan, and I'm the founder and CEO of Thrafford Lifesciences. We work in cell and gene therapy. So before I begin, mankind has already witnessed humongous thing in industrial revolution, starting from coal, steam, to steel, textile, heavy electronics, and last decade or so, or 2 decades or so, what we have seen is how information and communication technologies have impacted our life. Now, biology is set to have biorevolution. And what we have done so far is this. As India has done pretty good in biosector, biopharma sector as such. Can we call this as bioeconomy put together? So in 2024, India generated about $165 billion as bioeconomy market. And put together, bioindustry and biopharma contributed 80% to this thing. And now what we are aiming is to go up to $300 billion in 2030. That's our aim. That's our vision. So what I'm trying to say is that all of us who are here are going to be a part of this journey. So this is about 2x revenue generation for the nation. So as a nation, what biology has done. Right. So what bioeconomy has done is that it has contributed about 4.2% towards our GDP. And this is going to increase or has the opportunity to increase about 12% contribution to the GDP. So before we move on to the journey in the future, let's see our scorecard, what we have done. In the last 1 decade, what we have been successfully doing or what we have achieved is that we have doubled the amount of hospitals in the country. We are generating about 1.8 lakh doctors in India, which is about 2x times the growth what we have achieved. Now, India is supplying 60% of the vaccines globally, and it supplies quarter of the drugs or medicines globally. So we have the leadership in that, and we as consumers we are using about 5 billion tests every year, and we are trying to have insurance coverage widening up in India. So all this, what I'm trying to say is, it had an impact where you can see here that we have marginally increased the life expectancy. We have marginally decreased the number of neonatal deaths or marginally decreased the maternal deaths. So these are some numbers which are showing that we are doing marginally well. But if you ask me a question, is this good or is it better? How are we doing it? I would say these are all small wins for India. And we are now set to have a bigger leap, or we have to have an impactful solutions for healthcare as such. Now, India to move forward, we are grappling with our own or major problems that are associated or typically found in India majorly. And on the left, what I'm showing is these are the neonatal deaths, TB, tobacco, so on and so forth. So when I was doing this, I was thinking, what is happening in other countries as well? How do we compare things? So this is a heat map just to show you that India is leading in all these sectors as well. These are the problems that India has it, and we are leading. And we need to find solutions for these before even we could think of more going into the future, having a leap, innovation, scaling it up. So what India has been doing so far is this. So India has already implemented many programs and which are ongoing. For instance, there is one program for eradication of TB, which we are still trying to work on it. So the initial aim was to get rid of TB by 2025. We are still working on it, and we now believe that we can do it by 2030 at least. So there are other programs which are already existing, to take care of all these existing problems. Now, the context is set. So there we have problems, there are some programs. Now India is getting ready for future. What it has done is this. Right now, we have sequenced 10,000 genomes of Indian subjects. So that essentially means that we have the database of 10,000 peoples which are Indians, and we can develop diagnostic kits. We can have uh, AI done on it. We can develop research and products out of this. This is the powerful tool that we have so far developed, and we are trying to scale it up. Right now, we have done 10,000. We will do about 10 million of these so that we have everything in place. So we are future ready. The second point is that India has the largest, or it is getting into the largest e-Sanjeevani systems, meaning that telemedicine. So that will, change the way the doctors and the patients interact. They will bring them close and strengthen their interactions. Now, most importantly, India has about 10,000 startups in India. 10,000 startups. And now these number of these startups are going to double in the next decade, meaning that it will reach 20,500 startups by 2030, and for which will all contribute to scaling up innovations, coming out with new ideas. So we are going to be a part of this system. So most of you have the opportunity to go and create solutions or have your own startups here. And when the number of startup increases, the number of incubation centers would also increase in India. Right now, what we have is about 1,000 accelerators and incubators across India. This number will double, has to double to accommodate 20,000 startups and solutions. Not only this, even the regulators have become more aware. Right now, what was happening is regulators were regulatory agencies. Now, what has happened is the transformation has happened. They are becoming enablers of innovations and the healthcare system as such. What has happened is they have also created their own channel to create more awareness about the processes. So rather than being regulatory, now they have become enablers of healthcare and innovations. So this is the heart of the talk. So far, as I told you, we are the third largest generic suppliers in the world by volume and 14th by value. Now, India needs to move from this volume game to value game. So for that, what needs to happen is the product portfolio that India has, generics or vaccines and other things, needs to increase the value. So what we are calling is value enrichment in the portfolio. That's what we want to do. So this is already backed by the government. Government has already realized this. We can't just be doing generic drugs for a long time and be a supplier of all these medicines. So what they have done is they have identified certain sunrise sectors. So this is for all the participants here who would like to have a visualization of what to do next. So there are sunrise sectors already been identified, which will help India to reach its mission or vision. So these are some of the sunrise sectors. Cell and gene therapy is one of them. Now the question is, why do we choose cell and gene therapy in particular? So on the right, what I'm showing here is these are some of the products which are approved by FDA. They are available for cancer and oncology. But more importantly, the cost. It costs about $500,000 for one product, $500,000 for one injection. So that's the value of generating one injection. And on the right, what I'm showing is the bars. Basically, they are gene therapy products, which are about $3 million. So this is why. So how do we create the value in our portfolio? By concentrating on the sunrise sectors. So this is the story of a girl. Why this sunrise sector is so interesting? There was this girl, Emily White, who had blood cancer, and in 2019, she was treated with CAR therapy. And you can see from the images that it has cured. It has cured the cancer in her. She's still alive, healthy. So this is the impact. Now, when you look at this, card therapies, they're available in US. How does it translate to Indian system? What does it mean for us as a society? So India has about 2.5 lakh blood cancer patients, lymphoma and leukemia cases. And out of this 2.5 lakh blood cancer patients, lymphoma, leukemia cases, 30% of them are relapsed or refractory. What it means is these patients have exhausted all their treatment option and they are left to die. Right? At this stage of their life, cell therapy, CAR therapy for especially, provides them hope. Hope because it has complete remission rate of 60 to 80%. Yani bacha sakta hai. Right? It has shown, as you've seen there. So it offers hope to these 75,000 dying patients. Unfortunately, what has happened in India, for 1.5 years, we have been only able to treat 400 patients. As doctors, researchers, students, we need to do something. This is a huge unmet medical need of the country. The other problem here is, or the other point that I would like to submit here is this, the cost. Cost of, as I told you, cost is about $500,000 in US. India has innovated, has done innovations, how to manufacture it. We have already brought down the cost by 1/10. That is, Indian scientists have already done it and it is available in the market. But the problem is, we haven't been able to scale this up for our own population. It costs about 30 lakh rupees in India, which is still a huge, and its affordability is still challenging. So what we need is to scale, further bring down the price and scale the innovation. That is what we need to do as such. So now barriers have been broken in developing the product. Now we have to scale it up affordably. There are multiple ways you can do it. One of the ways is to move away from autologous to allogenic process. This is a little scientific, but the crux of this is this. In allogenic, what happens is you can do a batch manufacturing from a healthy volunteer, and the cost of manufacturing is divided amongst 3 or 5 patients. So the cost gets reduced or divided. So that's how we are going to have affordability sorted. Second point is, to do allogenic, the industry is grappling with certain limitations. One of the limitations is, how do you make it? There is graft rejection problems. So when you use a subset of T cell, do the science right, we can overcome this, which has been already very well published and documented. So if we adopt such models, we can quickly develop such a thing. Now the thing is, once you have done this, it can also be scaled up very quickly and done at point of care. So these are some of the innovations that are happening across globe. So instead of having things taken from patients, what you can do is you can develop the cart within the body itself. In vivo cart can be done. Second is the patient. This is gene editing and CRISPR-Cas technologies are coming, which will edit the mutation within the body. Right. So this slide is just to show things will change in future. How you do it. Now, industries will merge, or the differentiation between the industries like electronics, textiles, and others the line between these will fade away. Say, for example, increase or as the sensors technology progresses or improves, the way we wear our things and interact with the environment is going to change. For instance, we will have all these smart gadgets within our body itself, the jewelry, the clothes, the textile, the way we sleep. And all these things will be continuously monitoring you and observing your data. And that will in turn change how you interact with all the healthcare stakeholders, be it hospital or your doctors or health solution providers. Now, this will in turn give rise to personalized prediction and prescriptive diagnosis. So once you have that, these can be expedited by having organ on chip, or also you can print your organs. and it will change, and the manufacturing will become very easy by having autonomous labs wherein you don't have to have so much of manpower, and this will give better healthcare. So government has laid a strong foundation for this. We have about 1 lakh crores sanctioned by the government to push innovation, R&D, and we have Bio I3 policies to push manufacturing, and we have National Quantum Mission to push computational strengths for India to be quantum ready. So I would like to leave you with this, the last slide. So what has happened is we are just imagining manufacturing doing things on Earth. Science has gone beyond Earth. So people have successfully shown that you can manufacture your drugs which are not possible to be manufactured on Earth can be done at space. So future, your drugs may come from space. With this, I leave you with the thought this is a big leap for humanity. Thank you all for your patience.